Hello. In this clip from our Justia webinar, Confronting Racial Bias in Jury Selection, Angie Setzer answers questions regarding racial bias, discrimination, and equality in the legal process. If you want to see more Justia videos on law practice and legal marketing, be sure to subscribe to our channel. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Angie. And I think we have a few moments just to take a couple of questions. So if anyone has any, please feel free to submit them through that Q&A button in the control panel at the bottom of your screen. It looks like we already have a couple, so we can go through those and then we'll wrap up for today. Okay. Our first question is, how do you envision the implementation of EJI's recommendation at both the state and federal levels, considering potential resistance or challenges?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is obviously a challenge. I think there are actually ways that courts, so there's sort of individual cases that we can work on, but there are ways that, I think there's a range of different things that can be done, right? We have broad strokes like the Racial Justice Act. We have on a more sort of individual level or state court level, individual states that are really taking a look at this. I mean, New Jersey, Connecticut, all of these states, even the Colorado Supreme Court, they recently granted cert on an issue like this. So I think that there are ways that courts are evaluating the process, and we can, as advocates, become involved in responding to proposed court changes, proposed rule changes, really sort of like monitoring what's happening and getting involved in these individual cases. And I think also education. I mean, frankly, this was one of the reasons we did that, is making sure that people understand what's happening. I think people commonly understand jury service to be kind of a pain, often for the reasons we've identified, because it's a financial hardship. It is a pain. But how important it is to make sure people understand, like, that is a critical part of our criminal legal system, and that we want to make sure people are educated around that as well, which is part of the reason we're doing this.
Awesome. Thank you for that insight, Angie. And building off of something similar, this question is, how can legal practitioners actively contribute to creating that accountability in the jury selection process?
Yeah, I mean, I think that is like in a number of different ways. Both if you're sort of a trial practitioner, obviously it's sort of there's more obvious ways, I think, but happening in your jurisdiction. I mean, finding out, does your jurisdiction, how do jury summons go out? What is the process for tracking demographic information? I mean, this California whitewashing the jury box, which is the report I referenced earlier, really documented the way that people are being excluded. But they came out with a new report, which actually really looks at how states are not actually collecting demographic information from jurors. So things like, getting questionnaires, making sure that in individual cases or in individual jurisdictions, we are actually getting this information so that we have it and we can then make challenges. Sorry, I know that's a very quick answer. There's lots of questions and I only have like a minute, but
no, that's okay. I think we'll just take one more question.
That's one sort of thought on that.
Yeah, it's okay. This person asked, how effective have challenges been on the absolute pool issues? Say one area is 3.8% African American versus 87% white.
Yeah, I mean, I think the when we did our report, we found that in the last 10 years, only one case had succeeded in challenging the sort of the underrepresentation in the jury, the Sixth Amendment Fair Cross-Section Challenge. I know that there are states that are actually getting rid of the absolute disparity test. States like Iowa, where they've adopted a new test. So there are jurisdictions, and I think particularly in light of Borghese v. Smith, where the U.S. Supreme Court sort of acknowledged this test isn't going to work, specifically in areas where you have populations that are really under 10%. You can imagine that there's really no legal challenge. And so states like Iowa, I think there are other states that are considering reforms. I don't actually have an update. I don't know how many successful cases there have been since then. I know that in the past there haven't been that many, but I think sort of moving forward, looking at ways to get rid of this test and informing courts about the problems with, these various comparisons can be a huge first step.
Awesome. Well, I think that will be our last question for today. Thank you so much for your insight, Angie, and thank you all for your questions. Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did enjoy it, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more videos on law practice and legal marketing. See you in our next clip.